The atmosphere around New England this week feels charged in a way that goes beyond a normal regular season matchup. There's a sense that this team has crossed an internal line, moving from cautious optimism into genuine belief. Each week has added another layer to that confidence, and it shows in how the organization is operating from the sideline to the practice field to the front office. Nothing about the current moment feels accidental. The Patriots are playing like a team that understands where it stands and what it needs to protect in order to keep moving forward. What makes this stretch so compelling is how different the perception is compared to the start of the season. Back then, expectations were grounded, even conservative. The idea was that progress would be measured in flashes, not consistency. Winning streaks were something other teams talked about, not something New England was expected to sustain. Yet here the Patriots are, stacking victories, finding ways to win in different styles, and proving that their margin for error is growing rather than shrinking. That shift does not happen unless the foundation is solid. One of the clearest signs of how closely this staff is evaluating itself came from the defensive side of the ball after the most recent game. When you look at a box score and see a safety leading the team in tackles, it immediately invites deeper analysis. On the surface, it can look like effort or productivity. In reality, it often points to breakdowns closer to the line of scrimmage. It suggests that runs and short passes are getting past the first wave of defenders, forcing help from the back end. For a defense built on structure and physicality, that is a red flag worth addressing quickly. New England did exactly that. Rather than brushing it off as a one-week anomaly, the team evaluated its depth and made adjustments. These are not moves designed to win headlines. They're designed to win games in December and beyond. Bringing in linebacker help at this point of the season signals awareness, not panic. It reflects an understanding of what is coming on the schedule and how demanding those matchups will be, especially against teams that thrive on stressing the middle of the defense. Injuries and availability have played a role in that area, and their impact has been noticeable. There were snaps where run fits were late, lanes opened too easily, and underneath coverage lacked its usual sharpness. Earlier in the year, this same unit showed an ability to suffocate opponents by winning those small battles snap after snap. That identity is still there, but maintaining it requires the right combination of health, depth, and execution. Football seasons are rarely linear, and how a team responds to these moments often defines it. The decision to adjust the roster now also speaks to urgency. Players are not elevated unless the coaching staff believes they can contribute immediately, whether through defensive rotations, special teams responsibilities, or simply by raising the level of competition in practice. At this stage of the season, depth is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. Every position group must be prepared for the possibility that someone will be unavailable, and the Patriots are clearly intent on staying ahead of that curve. There's also a strategic patience involved in managing players who are close to returning. It can be tempting to rush someone back, especially with a high-profile matchup approaching. But long-term thinking often wins out. Protecting health now is about more than one game. It is about ensuring that the roster is as strong as possible when the stakes are highest. The Patriots have lived in that world before, and that experience shapes how they approach these decisions. The upcoming challenge against Baltimore brings all of these elements in a sharper focus. This is a team that thrives on physicality and discipline, one that forces defenses to be perfect at the second level. Linebackers are constantly put in conflict, asked to diagnose quickly while maintaining gap integrity. Any hesitation can turn into a chunk play. For New England, this is exactly the kind of test that reveals how well prepared a defense truly is, not just schematically, but in terms of depth and execution. What stands out is how much this Patriots team has evolved since the early weeks. There were legitimate questions about sustainability, about whether success would fade once opponents adjusted. Instead, the opposite has happened. Game plans have grown more refined, in-game adjustments have been sharper, and players appear increasingly comfortable within their roles. That comfort does not breed complacency. It breeds confidence, and there's a difference. Winning consistently changes the way a team carries itself. Practices become more intense, details matter more, and accountability becomes internal rather than enforced. You can sense that shift in New England. This is no longer a group just trying to hang around. It is a group that expects to compete and expects to win. That expectation influences everything, from preparation to performance on game day. As the season progresses, the weight of every decision increases. Roster moves, snap counts, and health management all carry implications beyond the immediate week. The Patriots understand that they cannot control the entire landscape of the conference, but they can control how ready they are when opportunities appear. Staying disciplined, addressing weaknesses early, and refusing to get comfortable are all part of that approach. While much of the attention naturally falls on matchups and star players, the reality is that seasons are often shaped by quieter choices. The decision to reinforce a position group, to prioritize depth, or to wait one more week before bringing someone back can have ripple effects that only become clear later. New England appears fully aware of that reality, operating with the mindset of a team that intends to be relevant when the games matter most. There's a growing sense that this Patriot squad is comfortable embracing pressure. Being in the playoff conversation changes how every week feels, and it demands a higher level of focus. The margin for error narrows, but so does the gap between preparation and performance. Right now, New England looks like a team that understands that balance, moving forward with purpose and clarity as it continues to navigate a season that has already exceeded many early expectations. As the conversation around New England continues to evolve, the focus naturally shifts from proving legitimacy to sustaining it. This is the phase of the season where teams reveal their true identities, not through bold statements, but through consistency and restraint. For the Patriots, that identity is becoming clearer with each passing week. They're not chasing style points or trying to overwhelm opponents with explosive theatrics. Instead, they're leaning into structure, preparation, and an understanding of situational football that quietly separates contenders from pretenders. One of the most important elements in this stretch is how the Patriots are handling success. Winning can be as dangerous as losing if it leads to complacency, and this organization is acutely aware of that risk. There's a visible emphasis on details that rarely make highlight reels but often decide games. Alignments, substitutions, communication before the snap, and discipline after the whistle all reflect a team that is locked in. These are habits built over weeks, not something that suddenly appears when the pressure rises. Defensively, the emphasis remains on tightening the middle of the field. Everything flows from that area. When the Patriots are decisive at linebacker and strong at the point of attack, the rest of the defense gains freedom. Pass rushers can attack with confidence, knowing lanes are secure behind them. Defensive backs can play with anticipation instead of caution. That balance creates a unit that feels connected, where each level supports the next rather than compensating for breakdowns. What makes this particularly important is the caliber of offenses New England is preparing to face. Physical running teams, creative play callers, and quarterbacks who thrive on quick decisions all test a defense in different ways. Against those styles, there is no substitute for discipline. One missed assignment or one moment of hesitation can swing momentum. The Patriots understand that margin, and it explains why adjustments are being made now rather than later. Offensively, the approach remains rooted in control. This unit does not need to dominate statistically to be effective. Its value lies in sustaining drives, managing the clock, and consistently putting the team in favorable positions. Third downs, red zone efficiency, and avoiding negative plays have become points of emphasis. When the offense executes those fundamentals, it complements the defense perfectly, keeping games within a manageable rhythm. There's also a noticeable patience in play calling that reflects trust. Trust in the offensive line to win enough battles. Trust in skill players to execute routes with precision, and trust in the overall plan even when results are not immediate. That patience often frustrates opponents, especially when they are waiting for mistakes that never come. Over time, that frustration can tilt games in subtle but meaningful ways. Another layer to this season is how adversity has shaped the roster. Injuries, role changes, and unexpected challenges have forced players to adapt quickly. Rather than disrupting chemistry, those adjustments have strengthened it. Players stepping into larger roles have shown readiness, and that readiness has reinforced belief throughout the locker room. When teammates trust that the next man can do his job, the entire group plays faster and more confidently. As the playoff picture begins to take shape, the Patriots find themselves in a position that demands maturity. There's awareness that seeding and tiebreakers matter, but there's also an understanding that focusing too far ahead can be counterproductive. The emphasis remains on weekly preparation, on stacking good practices, and on treating every opponent with respect. That mindset has defined the most successful stretches in this franchise's history, and it is resurfacing now in a modern context. Matchups will continue to drive narratives, but internally, the Patriots are more concerned with execution than reputation. They know that postseason football often comes down to who can impose their style under pressure. New England's style is not flashy, but it is resilient. It relies on forcing opponents to earn every yard, to sustain long drives without mistakes, and to remain patient in uncomfortable situations. Many teams struggle to maintain that discipline when stakes are high. The mental aspect of this run cannot be overlooked. Confidence built through preparation feels different from confidence built on hype. The Patriots are not riding emotional highs. They are leaning on routine, on repetition, and on an internal standard that does not change based on wins or losses. That steadiness becomes invaluable when games tighten and margins shrink. There's also a growing awareness within the team that opportunities like this are never guaranteed. Seasons can shift quickly in this league. A few missed details or a lapse in focus can undo weeks of progress. That reality fuels urgency without creating panic. The Patriots appear to be walking that line well, pushing for improvement while staying grounded in what has brought them success. As each week passes, the narrative around New England becomes less about surprise and more about respect. Opponents are preparing differently. Game plans are more cautious. There is a recognition that this is not a team that will beat itself. That reputation is earned snap by snap, and it reflects the collective effort of coaches and players aligned in purpose. With the schedule tightening and the stakes rising, the Patriots continue to move forward with a clear understanding of who they are and what they want to be. They are building towards something, not chasing it recklessly, but shaping it through discipline, adaptability, and belief that is rooted in preparation rather than hope. As this phase of the season continues to unfold, the Patriots remain in a space where potential and responsibility intersect. They have earned the right to be taken seriously, but that recognition brings its own demands. Maintaining focus amid rising expectations is one of the hardest challenges in professional sports. How this team navigates that challenge will shape not only upcoming games, but the broader narrative that follows them as the season continues to develop. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Your support helps us bring you the latest updates on the New England Patriots. And of course, drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from Patriots fans. The NFL world is buzzing with speculation after shocking rumors surfaced suggesting that the New England Patriots may have finally secured Josh Allen, the star quarterback who has dominated headlines for years. While nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders hint that the deal could be closer than anyone imagined, sending shockwaves throughout the AFC. The very thought of Allen in a Patriots uniform is enough to make rival teams reconsider their strategies, as his arrival could dramatically shift the balance of power in the conference. Fans and analysts alike are already imagining the possibilities. New England's offense, historically known for its disciplined, methodical approach, could suddenly become one of the most explosive units in the league. Allen's unique combination of arm strength, mobility, and playmaking ability would provide the Patriots with a dynamic edge they have not seen in years. Questions arise about how the coaching staff might adapt their schemes to maximize his talent. Could we see a hybrid system blending traditional Patriots precision with Allen's improvisational skills? The speculation alone is enough to keep pundits on the edge of their seats. Meanwhile, the AFC as a whole is bracing for potential chaos. Teams like the Bills, Dolphins, and Ravens, who have long relied on their defensive prowess to counter dominant quarterbacks, may need to rethink their game plans entirely. The ripple effect of Allen joining New England would extend beyond just the Patriots roster, potentially triggering trades, free agent moves, and even coaching adjustments across the league. Every snap, every draft decision could suddenly take on new meaning. Social media is ablaze with fan reactions, memes, and heated debates. Patriot supporters are euphoric at the mere prospect, while rival fans express a mix of disbelief and concern. Analysts are already projecting the statistical impact, debating whether Allen's arrival could finally put New England back into the title conversation. Even without official confirmation, the rumor alone has created a sense of anticipation reminiscent of some of the most seismic moments in NFL history. Whether this move ultimately comes to fruition or remains just speculation, one thing is certain: the AFC will never look the same again. Every team in the conference is now forced to consider the possibility of facing Josh Allen leading the Patriot charge, a thought that is both thrilling and terrifying for competitors. If even half of these rumors prove accurate, the league could be on the verge of one of the most dramatic shifts in recent memory, with New England potentially at the center of it all. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving fresh and exclusive Patriots news, make sure to subscribe and hit like. We always appreciate hearing your opinions in the comments. See you in the next one, Patriots Nation.